crystal clear waters, perfect waves, and golden sand. But beneath the surface, a shadow circled silently. In seconds, paradise turned into chaos, and the ocean turned red. Today, we uncover the world's deadliest shark-attack beaches, places where beauty hides danger, and where stepping into the water could be the last mistake you ever make. They came to the beach searching for nothing more than sun, waves, and relaxation. The sky stretched endlessly, painted in brilliant shades of blue, while the ocean shimmered like liquid glass under the midday sun. Children laughed as they built castles in the sand. Tourists floated lazily on inflatable rafts, and surfers carved through the waves with effortless grace. To the casual eye, this was paradise. But paradise often hides its darkest secrets just beneath the surface. The water was so clear that you could see the patterns of the sand below, every ripple, every shell. Yet below that crystalline perfection, a shadow moved silently. At first, no one noticed. The tourists closest to the waterline laughed at each other's jokes, completely unaware that the outline gliding through the deep was not just another school of fish. It was larger, more deliberate, and far too quiet. One surfer, waiting for the next wave, glanced down at the water below his board. For a moment, he froze. A dark shape, massive and powerful, passed just beneath him. His heart pounded in his chest. He tried to convince himself it was nothing, that it was just seaweed drifting by, or a trick of the light. But then it came again, circling this time, its shadow lengthening as it drew closer. He wasn't imagining it. The lifeguard tower overlooked everything, but from up there, the ocean looked deceptively calm. The predator knew this well. Sharks thrive on invisibility, on the element of surprise. In the water, silence is their greatest weapon. They don't roar, they don't growl, they glide, they wait. They strike only when the moment is perfect. And this moment was almost here. Without warning, the serenity of the beach shattered. A scream ripped across the water, followed by splashing and frantic cries. Swimmers bolted in every direction, some towards the shore, others frozen in place. Parents screamed for their children, dragging them from the surf as chaos erupted. Surfers paddled desperately, but the waves suddenly felt heavy, sluggish, as though the ocean itself wanted to hold them down. The water churned violently in one spot, and within seconds, it was no longer turquoise. It was stained red. The screams multiplied. Tourists who had been filming the beauty of the beach now captured its horror, their hands trembling as they recorded the chaos unfolding in front of them. For the predator, this was instinct. It wasn't evil or malicious. It was survival, sharpened over millions of years of evolution. To the shark, the splashing wasn't joy. It was prey signaling distress. And once that instinct awakened, there was no stopping it. The lifeguard's whistle cut through the screams as he waved frantically for people to get out of the water. Boats nearby accelerated toward the disturbance, but the ocean is vast and rescue is never instant. For the victim, seconds felt like hours. For the others watching from the shore, it was already too late. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the water grew still again. The great shadow disappeared into the depths, vanishing without a trace, leaving only silence. And the red trail slowly dispersing into the sea. The beachgoers stood in shock, their dream vacation now a living nightmare. Some sobbed, some screamed, others simply stared, unable to comprehend what they had just witnessed. The illusion of paradise had been shattered in a matter of minutes. But this was not an isolated event. Around the world, there are beaches just like this one, places that appear to be heaven on earth, yet hide dangers that most visitors could never imagine. In these waters, the predator always has the advantage. And in the coming chapters, we will reveal the deadliest of them all, because if paradise can turn red here, Where else is it waiting to happen? Brazil is famous for its music, its carnival, and its endless golden beaches. To the world, it is a country of joy, rhythm, and sunshine. But in Recife, a city on Brazil's northeastern coast, the story takes a darker turn. Locals call it the City of Sharks, and for good reason. Since the early 1990s, Recife has recorded dozens of shark attacks, many of them fatal, making it one of the deadliest beaches on Earth. For the unknowing tourist, the warm Atlantic waters seem inviting. For the seasoned local, those same waters carry a silent threat. What makes Recife different from other beaches is not just the frequency of attacks, it's the way they happen. Swimmers often venture only a few meters from the shore, sometimes waist deep, only to feel a sudden pull, a sharp pain, and then panic. Bull sharks and tiger sharks dominate these waters, and both species are known for their aggression. Bull sharks, in particular, are notorious for thriving in shallow water and even rivers. Their ability to live in both salt and fresh water means they can appear where people least expect them. But Recife's dark reputation did not happen by accident. For centuries, the coast was relatively safe. Then came the construction of the Swapa port in the 1980s. Massive dredging operations altered the coastline, disrupting natural shark migration routes. The balance between humans and predators was shattered. The port created deep channels that acted like highways, guiding sharks directly toward Recife's beaches. With their traditional hunting grounds destroyed, the predators adapted. They followed the currents, and the currents led straight to where tourists swim and surf. Imagine a surfer paddling out to catch the perfect wave. The water is calm, the sky is endless, and the only sound is the rhythmic crash of the ocean. But beneath him, a bull shark circles. From below, the outline of his surfboard looks disturbingly like a turtle or a seal, exactly the kind of prey sharks hunt. The surfer never hears it coming. In less than 5 seconds, the predator can close the distance and strike. Many victims describe the same terrifying detail. They didn't see the shark until it was too late. The government has responded with warning signs and patrols. At many parts of the beach, large red letters read, "Danger, Shark Attack Area, Swimming Prohibited." But human nature often ignores warnings. Tourists still wade into the water, convinced the danger is exaggerated. Some believe the sharks attack only surfers, not swimmers. Others think they will be safe just a few steps from shore. But Recife's statistics prove otherwise. Even knee-deep water can become deadly in seconds. For the people of Recife, the ocean has become both a blessing and a curse. It brings commerce, tourism, and beauty. But it also takes lives. Local fishermen whisper that the sharks are no longer afraid of humans, that they patrol the coast as if it were their territory now. In many ways, they are right. Every year, desperate voices call for the beaches to be closed permanently. Yet life in Recife goes on, and with it, the silent dance between man and predator. Visitors arrive, ignoring the warnings. Some leave with souvenirs and memories. Others, tragically, never leave at all. Recife is proof that paradise can change when humans alter nature's design. The City of Sharks is not cursed. It is a warning. A warning of what happens when balance is broken, when predators are forced into our world, and when we step blindly into theirs. And if Recife is terrifying, then wait until you hear about Reunion Island, where paradise itself has become forbidden. Reunion Island lies in the Indian Ocean, just east of Madagascar. On the surface, it is paradise defined. Towering volcanoes, lush jungles, cascading waterfalls, and beaches that look like they belong on a postcard. Tourists arrive from Europe, Australia, and beyond, drawn by its promise of tropical escape. They come to surf, to dive, to swim in its turquoise waters. But Reunion carries a dark reputation, one so sinister that locals call it the island where the ocean is off limits. To many, it has become the most dangerous place in the world to go surfing. In less than a decade, Reunion Island recorded over 20 serious shark attacks. Many of them were fatal. That is an astonishing number for such a small island, and it sent shockwaves through the surfing community. Surfers began calling Reunion a nightmare destination where a single mistake could cost your life. In fact, authorities became so desperate that they imposed an unprecedented ban. Swimming and surfing were prohibited across most of the coastline. Imagine arriving in paradise, only to find warning signs everywhere. Bathing and surfing prohibited. Risk of shark attack. But what makes Reunion so deadly? Scientists believe the answer lies in the island's geography. The deep ocean floor drops off sharply just offshore, creating a perfect hunting ground for large predators. Bull sharks and tiger sharks, two of the most aggressive species, are constant visitors. They patrol the channels, slipping close to the beaches where humans play. For sharks, Reunion is a supermarket of opportunity. For humans, it's a trap. The stories of victims are chilling. In 2011, a young surfer was attacked just a few meters from shore, his friends watching helplessly as the water exploded in red. In another case, a champion bodyboarder lost his life during a training session. He was only 20 years old. Locals still remember his name, whispered in the surf community with a mix of sorrow and fear. And perhaps the most haunting detail is this: many of the attacks happened in broad daylight, in clear water, with multiple witnesses. These sharks weren't hiding, they were asserting dominance. Fishermen and scientists argue over the cause. Some blame the establishment of marine reserves, which increased fish populations and, by extension, drew in more predators. Others point to overfishing in surrounding waters, which push sharks closer to shore. And then there are those who claim the island is simply cursed, a place where man was never meant to share the sea. The government's response has been controversial. Patrols, nets, and culling programs were introduced, sparking fierce debates between conservationists and terrified locals. Should sharks be killed to protect human lives? Or is it humans who must learn to stay away from shark territory? On Reunion, this debate is not theoretical, it's survival. Imagine booking your dream vacation. You arrive at a sunlit beach, only to see the waves rolling in untouched. No surfers, no swimmers, just emptiness. The silence is haunting, almost unnatural. Because here, the ocean belongs not to man, but to the predators waiting beneath. Reunion Island stands as a chilling reminder that not all paradises are safe. Its beauty is unmatched, but its waters carry a deadly price. For many surfers, the island is not a dream, but a death sentence. And yet, despite its horrors, Reunion is not alone. There is another place where sharks are not just visitors, they are rulers. A place that has earned the title of the shark capital of the world. Welcome to Gansbaai, South Africa. Off the southern tip of Africa lies a small fishing town with an outsized reputation. Its name is Gansbaai, but to the world, it is known by a darker title, the shark capital of the world. For decades, this rugged coastline has drawn thrill seekers, adventurers, and scientists, all obsessed with one thing, the great white shark. Here, the ocean is not just a place to swim. It is a stage where predator and prey perform a deadly ballet, one that humans can only watch in awe or fear. Gansbaai is famous for its shark cage diving industry. Tourists from across the globe pay thousands of dollars to board boats that sail into these turbulent waters. Once there, they climb into metal cages lowered beneath the surface, face to face with one of the most feared creatures on Earth. Imagine it. The cold Atlantic pressing in on all sides, the sound of your own breathing amplified through a regulator, and then, out of the green murk, rows of serrated teeth rushing directly towards you. When a great white slams into the bars, the entire cage rattles, and for a split second, you wonder whether steel can really protect you. But the danger in Gansbaai extends far beyond the cages. The waters here are home to Dire Island, also known as Shark Alley. This area teems with seals, the favorite prey of great whites. From beneath, the silhouette of a seal looks almost identical to that of a surfer lying on a board. To a hungry shark, the difference is irrelevant. This simple mistake of nature has turned Gansbaai into a hotspot for shark attacks. Over the years, local surfers and fishermen have told chilling stories. A sudden strike out of nowhere, the violent thrashing of water, and then silence. Survivors often describe the same moment of realization. The ocean goes from playground to battlefield in the blink of an eye. Some escape with scars they'll carry forever. Others are not so lucky. Each attack leaves the community shaken, but also oddly resigned. In Gansbaai, everyone knows the truth. You share these waters with predators, and sometimes they win. Scientists argue that Gansbaai is a vital window into shark behavior. They study the great whites here to understand migration, feeding, and survival. But even science cannot strip away the fear. For the locals, the sea is both livelihood and threat. Fishermen set their nets with an eye on the waves, always aware that something larger, stronger, and faster is moving below. Tour operators, who rely on shark tourism, walk the fine line between fascination and danger. The very predators that terrify the world are also the beating heart of Gansbaai's economy. And yet, the balance is fragile. In recent years, sightings of great whites have mysteriously declined. Some blame overfishing, others whisper about orcapods killing sharks and driving them away. For the first time, Gansbaai is facing an uncertain future. What happens to the shark capital if the sharks themselves disappear? Still, the danger has not vanished. Bull sharks and bronze whalers remain, and the great whites are never truly gone. They move silently, returning without warning, as if reminding humans that this is still their territory. Gansbaai is not just a destination, it is a lesson. A place where humans deliberately dive into the jaws of danger, convinced that steel bars will keep them safe. But ask anyone who has felt the cage shudder under the impact of a great white, and they'll tell you, nothing feels safe in those waters. And yet, while South Africa has earned its crown as the shark capital, there is another paradise across the globe with a darker secret. It is not the cold, stormy Atlantic. It is the warm, turquoise Pacific, a place tourists flock to by the millions, never realizing the danger that waits beneath. Welcome to Maui, Hawaii, where paradise and predators collide. When most people hear the word Hawaii, their minds fill with images of paradise. Palm trees swaying gently in the breeze, the sound of ukuleles drifting across the air, sunsets painting the sky with fire, and beaches that seem too perfect to be real. Maui, the jewel of the Hawaiian Islands, is a place that millions of travelers dream of visiting. But while the brochures promise romance and tranquility, the waters around Maui carry a chilling secret. Beneath the turquoise surface lurks one of the most feared predators on the planet, the tiger shark. Unlike the great white, which tends to dominate headlines, tiger sharks are silent stalkers, opportunistic hunters with a reputation for attacking anything that enters their domain. In Maui, they rule the coastline. Statistics reveal a sobering truth. The majority of Hawaii's fatal shark attacks occur here. Tourists and locals alike have found themselves face to face with predators capable of striking with terrifying precision. Imagine snorkeling along Maui's coral reefs, mesmerized by schools of tropical fish, the sunlight dancing through the water in golden shafts. Everything feels peaceful until the fish scatter in panic. Out of the haze, a massive shadow emerges, stripes faintly visible along its body. At first, your mind refuses to process what you're seeing. Then it clicks. A tiger shark is circling. To the shark, your flippers, your splashes, even your shape might resemble prey. And in those few heart-pounding seconds, paradise becomes a battlefield. Over the years, stories from Maui have shocked even seasoned divers. In one infamous case, a woman swimming just yards from shore vanished without a sound. All rescuers found were fragments of her gear floating on the surface. In another incident, a surfer felt something slam into his board with explosive force, launching him into the air. He survived with injuries, but the shark left behind a tooth embedded in the fiberglass, a reminder of how close he came to death. Locals know the rules well. Never swim alone, avoid murky waters, and stay away from river mouths after heavy rain. These are the times when sharks move closer to shore, hunting for food washed out by the currents. But tourists, unaware of the island's dark history, often break these rules. To them, Maui is just paradise, a postcard brought to life. By the time they realize the risk, it's too late. Scientists have studied Maui's waters extensively, trying to explain why shark encounters here are so frequent. Some point to the island's unique underwater geography, which creates natural feeding grounds close to shore. Others note the seasonal migrations of tiger sharks, with females returning to give birth near the island. Whatever the reason, the result is clear. Maui's beauty comes with danger, hidden beneath its waves. Yet here lies the paradox. For many Hawaiians, sharks are not just predators. They are spiritual beings, guardians of the sea, known as aumakua. This cultural reverence adds another layer of complexity. To kill the sharks would be sacrilege, yet their presence continues to claim lives. Maui exists in this delicate balance, a paradise celebrated above water, a hunting ground claimed below. And so, as the sun sets and the beach glows in fiery hues, families play, couples walk hand in hand, and surfers paddle toward the horizon. Few realize that just beyond the break, shadows glide silently, watching, waiting. The ocean is vast, the predator patient, and the visitor unaware. Maui is proof that even the most beautiful places on Earth can hold secrets darker than the depths themselves. Here, the price of stepping into paradise may be higher than anyone dares to imagine. But if you think Maui is dangerous, wait until you see the next beach. A world-famous stretch of sand, visited by millions every year, where lifeguards scan the waves and helicopters patrol overhead, not because of crime, but because sharks patrol the waters. Welcome to Bondi Beach, Australia, the unexpected danger. Australia is known for its breathtaking landscapes, exotic wildlife, and endless stretches of coastline. And among those coastlines, one beach stands out above all others, Bondi Beach. With its golden sands, rolling waves, and vibrant energy, Bondi is not just a beach, it's a symbol. Every year, millions of visitors flock here from around the world, eager to experience its legendary surf and its sun-soaked charm. To the untrained eye, Bondi seems like the safest place on Earth to enjoy the ocean. Lifeguards patrol the shore, helicopters monitor from above, and shark nets are installed just offshore. But what most people don't realize is that Bondi has a history written in blood. Beneath its lively surface hides an unexpected danger, one of the deadliest stretches of water in Australia. Shark attacks in Bondi date back over a century, and while they are not as frequent as in some other hotspots, when they happen, they are unforgettable. Great whites, bull sharks, and tiger sharks, the three species responsible for most fatal attacks worldwide, all patrol these waters. To the average swimmer, The idea of being attacked seems impossible. After all, hundreds of people splash in the surf every day without incident. But Bondi's waters are deceptive. The very currents that create its perfect waves also serve as highways for predators, drawing them closer to shore than most people would ever imagine. Lifeguards here are not just rescuers of tired swimmers, they are shark sentinels. Equipped with radios and binoculars, they keep constant watch for shadows in the water. Helicopters regularly sweep the coastline, broadcasting warnings when sharks are sighted near swimmers. And yet, even with all this technology, the ocean cannot be controlled. On several occasions, helicopters have captured chilling footage. Enormous sharks gliding silently just meters away from crowds of swimmers who had no idea they were being watched. From the air, the images are shocking. Hundreds of people floating in turquoise water, completely unaware of the predator weaving through them like a ghost. Bondi's shark nets, intended to protect swimmers, are a controversial measure. They are not true barriers, but rather loose mesh designed to catch or deter predators. Experts warn that the nets do not cover the entire beach, and in fact, many sharks swim around them with ease. Worse, the nets often trap other marine life, dolphins, turtles, even harmless species of sharks. Critics argue that the illusion of safety may actually be more dangerous than no protection at all. For survivors of shark encounters near Bondi, the memories are haunting. One surfer recalled the moment his board was hit from below with bone-rattling force. He never saw the shark, only felt the impact and the sudden weightlessness as he was launched into the air. Another swimmer described being pulled under without warning, thrashing against something powerful before being released, lucky to escape with his life. These stories linger in Bondi's surf culture, whispered reminders that paradise can turn dangerous in an instant. And yet, despite the risk, the crowds never stop coming. Tourists still swim, surfers still paddle, and lifeguards still stand guard. Bondi is proof of the human paradox, our desire to conquer fear, to chase thrill, to live at the edge of danger. Perhaps it is this very balance, the beauty of the beach against the lurking shadow of predators, that makes Bondi so irresistible. But what lies beneath this global pattern of attacks? Why are sharks drawn to certain beaches? And what role do humans play in creating these deadly encounters? To understand the true scale of the danger, we must go deeper, not just into the waters, but into the science itself. Because the answer is not only about sharks, it's about us. For centuries, sharks have been cast as villains, monsters of the deep, mindless killers that strike without warning. Movies and headlines have cemented this image, but the truth is far more complex and far more unsettling. Shark attacks are not random acts of cruelty. They are the result of a delicate balance between predator, prey, and the environment, one that humans have disrupted in ways we are only beginning to understand. To unlock the truth behind the world's deadliest beaches, we must dive into the science of shark behavior. First, consider what sharks actually see. Contrary to popular belief, most sharks do not have perfect eyesight. In murky waters or in the glare of the sun, their vision is limited. A surfer paddling on a board from below looks nearly identical to a turtle or a seal, the shark's natural prey. A swimmer thrashing near the surface mimics the desperate movements of an injured fish. To a shark, these silhouettes are invitations. What humans interpret as play often looks like survival signals in the predator's world. Many scientists now believe that most shark attacks are cases of mistaken identity. But vision is only part of the story. Sharks possess an extraordinary ability known as electroreception. Tiny pores along their snouts detect the faint electrical signals produced by the muscles and hearts of living creatures. This sixth sense allows them to locate prey even in total darkness. Imagine swimming in the shallows. your heart pounding with excitement. To you, the ocean is calm. To the shark, your heartbeat is a beacon guiding it directly towards you. Environmental factors add another layer of danger. In Recife, the construction of the Suape port altered migration routes, funneling sharks directly into tourist zones. In Reunion Island, steep drop-offs just offshore make it easy for predators to ambush surfers. In Maui, tiger sharks follow seasonal patterns, moving closer to shore during birthing periods. And in Bondi, rip currents and rich feeding grounds bring predators within meters of crowded swimmers. Each location tells the same story. Human interference reshapes the ocean, and sharks adapt, with deadly consequences. Overfishing has also played a role. As humans deplete natural fish stocks, sharks are forced to move closer to coastal areas in search of food. Pollution clouds the water, making it harder for them to distinguish prey from people. Climate change alters migration patterns, driving predators into new territories where humans were once safe. In every case, the common factor is us. The ocean is their domain, yet we reshape it for our convenience and then act surprised when the predators remind us who truly rules the water. Despite their reputation, scientists emphasize that sharks are not mindless killers. In fact, the vast majority of shark encounters end without incident. Millions of people swim in the ocean every day, and attacks remain rare. But in certain hotspots, the beaches we've explored, conditions align to create the perfect storm. Predators, prey, geography, and human activity colliding in the same space. The science tells us that sharks are not targeting us. They are simply following instincts honed over millions of years. They do not see paradise, tourism, or vacations. They see silhouettes, vibrations, and signals of vulnerability. In their world, we are not special. We are just another splash in the water, and yet, knowing this does not erase the fear. If anything, it deepens it. Because it means that anywhere humans enter shark territory, the risk exists. The science does not just explain the attacks, it makes them inevitable. Which leaves us with one final question. If we know the dangers, if we understand the predators, and if we see the warning signs, why do we still dive headfirst into their world? The answer lies not in science, but in human nature itself. And that brings us to the haunting truth we cannot escape. The ocean has always been a place of contradictions. It offers beauty and terror, freedom and danger, paradise and death. To most, the sea is a sanctuary, a place to escape the noise of life, to float in weightlessness, to marvel at the colors of the reef and the endless horizon. But beneath that shimmering surface lies a truth we cannot ignore. The ocean is not ours. It belongs to predators that have ruled it for millions of years, long before our footprints touched the sand. The beaches we've explored, Recife, Reunion Island, Gansbaai, Maui, and Bondi, are not cursed by myths or haunted by legends. Their danger is real, rooted in nature's design and in humanity's interference. We build ports, drain rivers for fish stocks, and push ever deeper into territories we barely understand. And when sharks strike back, we call it tragedy, when in truth, it is balance reasserting itself. These predators are not villains. They are guardians of the deep, doing what they have always done, survive. Yet for us, their presence feels like terror, the scream that shatters a sunny afternoon, the splash that suddenly becomes a struggle, the trail of red that spreads across waters once so inviting. These images haunt us because they pierce our illusion of control. We like to believe that the ocean is a playground, a postcard, a backdrop for vacations and leisure. But every attack reminds us of the truth. In the sea, we are visitors, and sometimes visitors are not welcome. Still, we return. We return because the ocean calls to something primal within us. Its vastness humbles us, its beauty enchants us, and its mystery dares us to cross the line between safety and danger. We cannot resist it. And perhaps that is why shark attacks fascinate us so deeply, not because they are common, but because they reveal the fragility of our place in nature. One moment, paradise feels eternal. The next, it is stained with fear. Scientists remind us that shark attacks remain rare compared to the countless hours humans spend in the water. But statistics are powerless against instinct. Numbers cannot erase the chill that runs down your spine when you see a fin breaking the surface. They cannot silence the question that echoes in every swimmer's mind: what if I'm next? And that is the paradox of paradise. We are drawn to the very places that hide the greatest risks. We flock to golden beaches, to turquoise waters, to surf breaks, known worldwide, not in ignorance, but in defiance. It is as if confronting the possibility of danger makes the beauty more intoxicating, but the ocean is patient. It does not care about our vacations or our dreams. It does not care about our warnings or our lifeguards. It has one law: survival. And the sharks, ancient and relentless, are its enforcers. So the next time you step into the surf, pause. Look out across the horizon. Feel the waves pulling at your feet, the salt on your skin, the sun on your face. And remember, paradise is never without its price. Beneath the calm, shadows move. Beneath the beauty, danger waits. Paradise can be deadly. The only question is, would you dare to enter?